Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we're going to be going through the 2018 Senate elections, not really making a prediction, just looking at them and pretty much analyzing them because we are 6 days out from the 2018 midterm elections. And yes, we are 2 months away, but it also means something. Donald Trump said he was going on a 60-day campaigning streak in a number of these states. He said he would be campaigning 6 to 7 days a week. Now, if that was true, I think that could help Republicans tremendously, especially in a couple of these states that are already closer than should be expected, and also have Democratic incumbents. In the cases of states like Arizona, Florida, and North Dakota, Democrats think that they may lose those seats there for a number of reasons, but also in Tennessee, Indiana, Missouri, and Nevada. Even though there may be a GOP incumbent in Nevada, the Democrats aren't too confident about those states either. There are a couple of changes I'm going to make to the Senate map that will lead into my halfway through the month prediction, but they will be explained in just a moment because I went through my most recent 2018 election prediction for the Senate elections, and I didn't really agree with a couple of the comments that were pretty much disproving a couple of my points, but also I did agree with a number of them. The ones that made me rethink the way I looked at Arizona, the ones that made me rethink the way I made me rethink the way I looked at Texas, Florida, North Dakota. A couple of these states I wanted to see other people's thinking because I know my own isn't always perfectly correct, and I know nobody truly is perfect when it comes down to these election predictions. So it's awesome seeing other people's opinions in terms of election predictions, especially something like this, especially something as contested, and with the numbers being so close. Not only now, I mean, looking at the current composition, but the final composition, just a change in a couple of the states, but the same numbers. Seeing those really did help me look at a couple of these states with a new point of view. So first state that I'm going to actually characterize is Arizona. And that one I'm going to put in the tilt Democratic column. I think I did possibly overplay the pity vote. I'm not going to say I didn't. I think that is true. I mean, that was at the time. John McCain recently passed away, and a lot of things were happening in Arizona. We have a new senator there, actually a former senator, not a new senator, a former senator becoming senator yet again. But still, Arizona goes to the Democrats very narrowly at this point in time. Kyrsten Sinema has led in polls for a very long time. We have no true new data from Arizona, but honestly, I've been reading a number of these justifications for it, and I get it. I'm not going to see that. It's especially since this isn't McCain's seat. I'm not going to say this is going to be this is going to help the GOP tremendously. I think it will help them. I think it'll just grab a couple more of those Republicans who are iffy about sending someone into office who was backing Donald Trump, and possibly just throw them in because they are upset about John McCain and they just want to keep these seats Republican for whatever reason. You know how the pity vote pretty much works, but I'm not going to say that's going to be tremendous enough to overturn a 7 to 8% lead, or actually 5.6% lead, but still above 5% in most recent polling. And again, Arizona, even though it is a Republican state, this is a Democratic wave year. This is a state that Donald Trump carried less than Iowa and Ohio and Georgia, which are states that got closer in previous elections. Iowa and Ohio actually were Obama states in 2008 and 2012, as many of you know. And overall, I honestly think that Arizona could still narrowly retain in the Democratic column. As for the next change and the final change that I'm going to mention in this video is Florida. It is now going in the pure toss-up column, and I haven't done that in a very long time. Florida is very hard to gauge, with a couple of more polls recently coming out of the state of Florida that show a tie with 47 and 47, and then 49 and 49. This race is getting very close because in Arizona, it's sometimes 42-37. There are a number of undecided voters. In Florida, that is not the case. There are undecided voters in Tennessee, in Indiana, in Missouri, in North Dakota, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania. In Florida, there's only 2% undecided voters according to Quinnipiac. So, again, Florida right now, even though it shows Rick Scott leading in most recent polling data, I'm going to actually move this race from leaning Republican down to the toss-up column, the pure toss-up column, which gives no party the political majority nationwide, with the Democrats at 50 and the Republicans at 49. So like I was saying before I just went into the changes, I'm making this video because I want to analyze this map before Donald Trump does his 60-day campaign streak. Because if we see something drastically different than what we see on this map now, it made it either a positive or negative impact on Republicans in the state, in a number of these states. Obviously, there are a number of other factors. I'm not saying that's not true. However, if Donald Trump directly involves himself in North Dakota, in Montana, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in a number of these states, and they still remain the same way they are now, leaning actually for the Democrats in most of those states, that's not a good sign for the president, which means that his 6 to 7 days spent out of the White House purely campaigning for people like Kevin Cramer or Mike Braun, Rick Scott, whoever it may be, it may not be the most beneficial. It also may not help him, and it could be a waste of time. So the reason, again, why we're going through this is just to see it now, compare it 30 days into the midterm elections, and then, of course, the day before midterm elections. But they will be still Senate election predictions leading up into them. So the map will still change. But pretty much up in the Northeast, this is actually a map provided by 270 to Win. I just characterized the key races. I believe I characterized Wisconsin a little bit different than in the other video, but I don't have it up right now. But still, the Democrats winning there is pretty much the general, idea I was trying to, tell you guys that a Democrat would win in this state, especially being a Democratic incumbent. But also in the Sun Belt, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. 3 of those states, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, are Democratic states, and Texas is a lean Republican state. We're going to see the effect of the president in a number of these states, in Texas, in Arizona, and Nevada, but probably not New Mexico. So we can just see how those races change over time. But for right now, most of the states around the Sun Belt area are Democratic states. Utah, Mitt Romney leading, but actually dropping down by 10% in most recent polling. But still, not the worst thing when you're leading by 25%. Who cares if you truly drop 10%? You could drop 24.9% and still win that election. Wyoming, Nebraska, Mississippi, and Mississippi Special. Not much to see there. Across the Rust Belt, though, Democratic territory. Even in West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio, states that were solidly for Donald Trump compared to the Rust Belt, and I'm not saying they're all the Rust Belt states. I'm just saying they're in the general area. So the issues probably are not the same. I mean, they aren't the same in a number of these states. I know that things in Maryland don't really matter to the people in the state of Wisconsin, but still, looking at this area, seeing a lot of blue compared to where it was before. Even if you look at their current composition, a Republican from Indiana, from Ohio, from West Virginia, from Pennsylvania, from Michigan, and now we look at it, still a Republican from those states, but it's still a Democratic area, even in an off year, which Democrats typically don't come out in. Up in the Northeast, not a lot to see there whatsoever. But down in the South, Missouri, Tennessee, and Florida, right now, all have possibilities of going to the Democrats, even though they were solidly Trump states in Tennessee and Missouri. And Florida, still a Trump state, but by a narrow margin. Very interesting to see the Democrats having a real shot here, especially in a state like Tennessee, which currently has a Republican incumbent. So right now, the map, if we look at it, has 50 Democrats and 49 Republicans, and my updated Senate election prediction. But again, that's not what you came here for. You came here for the analysis. But if you go through the entire video, you can pretty much hear the entire thing. So right now, with 50 Democrats and 49 Republicans, the Democrats have a net gain of 1 so far, and Florida is a pure toss-up. And again, with 49 Republicans. So 60 days out, we'll see the effect of the president in very soon, actually. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and we'll see you all tomorrow.